Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, including Steven Universe, Gravity Falls, and Rick and Morty. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Delaney Stovall.
Hello.
Today, Delaney and I are discussing the latest episode of Rick and Morty, Get Schwifty, episode 5, I think, of the season.
I told you the title made sense.
The title was actually relevant to the episode this time.
I told
yes.
you.
Good, congratulations.
Me.
For the first time ever. It's this season, I guess. Overlyanimated.com. You can find out everything about this podcast. We cover Rick and Morty every week. And of course, as always with Rick and Morty podcast, this podcast might not be suitable for younger audiences. However, basically every other episode of podcast we do is. It's just we are content suitable to the subject matter being discussed. Get Schwifty. Delaney, what did you think of this episode?
I liked it. It was fine. Like I don't know, it was decent. I don't know. I like music things, so I enjoyed it, and it was just typical dumb stuff going on.
Elaborate on I like music things.
Like music, but like I don't actually watch like American Idol stuff, but like I don't know, I like this. Like I like things like this where it's like a music competition. Just cracked me up. And
yeah.
I mean, the part I really liked was like the religion stuff. Like that was really entertaining.
Yeah, I get what. Yeah, this episode I think was fine. Like it's a letdown. It's a letdown for sure coming off of last week. Last week I feel like
I don't know how we could have topped last week though.
Well, last week we had the best episode of the show, I think, in my opinion. I've heard some people not like it, and I don't really get it, but I thought it was the best episode of the show. But like, it's not that we need a top last week, but we could stay on that kind of high quality level. This week is like I didn't think like the concept execution was fine. It wasn't great. The B plot was fine. It wasn't great. It was maybe too on the nose. It was like the most on the nose satire the show has done.
Yes.
And then, but most of all, I just don't think this episode was that funny. Like, it was fine. But I think it was more.
I chuckled a little bit, like here and there.
Yeah, that I agree. But usually, but like last week had me cracking up.
Yeah.
Here's a good summary of my thoughts. From Zach Handlin at the AV Club. My weekly quoting of them, but I feel like he was on point with this his review this week. And here's a paragraph which basically sums up my thoughts. This half hour is the first real letdown of the season. There are enough good ideas to keep it afloat, but there are stretches where the writers turn to absurdity in exchange for telling an effective story, and in doing so rob the episode of energy and intent. Like that whole thing with Ice-T, which was cute and everything, and the post-credits grag was amusing, but had nothing to offer beyond the fact that it was really fucking weird. Weird can be good, but it can't support a whole entry on its own, not unless the show is going to really double down and make everything batshit. Here we had a surprisingly tired riff on reality music show competitions. The giant voting head judges were swell, but there wasn't much more to it, and a decent B story about a cult, and that's about it. So like, I think this is very accurate. The whole everything with Ice-T, it was one of it feels like something that I should come into this podcast and say this was like typical Rick and Morty, the great gag of the week. It's like super high concept and hilarious. And like I thought it was high concept, but it wasn't like hilarious. And I don't really know why.
Well, it didn't last very long. It was very at the end of the episode, and then Ice-T isn't like funny. Like that's the thing. Like I love Ice-T, but like
I don't think that.
funny
well, we don't need to get into like the logistics of humor and why that wasn't like at its base level funny. But it's possible it was because of the rest of the episode.
Like it was like it was literally like it was like the last like I don't know like maybe 6 minutes of the episode.
Yeah, well, they had him, and then he was there, and then he transformed into his thing, and then he came back and saved the day, and then he had the thing at the end, right? So it's. I
think the stinger's the funniest part.
Yeah, I think the initial reaction to him, like he transforms, and let me find it in the thing. Yeah, he says you can turn nice. He says, "My story begins at the dawn of time." Like that was, that was funny. It was like really over the top, and it was good. Yeah. But I don't know if it sustains. I like stuff like this. Like this, that's what this show does. It has really fucking weird shit, and it just keeps going. But like this time. It was just, I guess, a throwaway. And okay, so here's something. Maybe this.
It's like we just need Ice to be there and then leave.
Yeah, it's like maybe this needed to be tied into the concept of the episode, right? Like the thing I always point to is the scary Terry. Like that's the perfect of this example of the show. Like keeping going in its concept and just being like hilarious and just over the top. But that was like with the concept of the episode and tied into the satire. The iced tea gag I think was maybe off to the side, whereas the concept of the episode is alien invasion, reality show spinoff, and like it didn't really do anything special with that concept. So maybe that's the problem.
I mean, sure. Like if like we had like Shard iced tea like singing or something.
Yeah, maybe if he sang, that would have worked better. I'm not sure.
Maybe if he had like told us his history in song.
Okay, well, yeah, we could have done that, I guess. But like, I guess I don't know. Overall, it was good. Like, I did enjoy the episode. I didn't think it was one of the least funny entries in recent memory, though. And and I think the concepts were good. Like I said, we're satirizing an alien invasion. We have everything going on with the president. It felt very Doctor Who-y. Like Rick talking to the government and stuff like that and interacting there.
We've literally had this episode where they went on the game show,
and then we had them on the game show in Doctor Who too, right? So just very, very Doctor Who-y, but it didn't like do that much beyond its initial thing. Like they go to an alien-wide, like a universe-wide competition, but it's like, so what? You know, it didn't do much with it. And then the B plot was like, if I didn't love this B plot, then like who is? Because I'm all about making fun of religion and satirizing it. And like the review said, it's about a cult. I feel like this is satirizing just religion in general, but I mean similar concepts. But
I don't think they really like touched upon it being a cult until like they were like, we're going to spread it worldwide.
Yeah, they got a little cultish there, yeah. And I feel like if we're moving away, like I feel like the strong point of this B plot is going to be the satire of religion, and if we're moving to cult, it's like, okay, we're gonna, satirize Scientology-ish, something like that again. That's been done 1,000 times, but I like it, but it was very not super intelligent for this show. Like this has been done a lot.
It's honestly done in a pretty lazy way. Like it wasn't really an interesting take or anything.
Yeah, it almost was interesting because of the family dynamics with Summer.
Yeah.
It almost got there, but I don't think it actually did get there.
Summer wasn't like in it enough.
It's like it's like, yeah, maybe it needed to go further, but also like it didn't really make sense why Summer was.
Or the potatoes.
Like the potatoes?
Like, okay, they would just like, obviously we do that a lot, like we jump around and like we were like, of course this doesn't make sense, it's absurd, Rick and Morty, it never makes sense.
Well, yeah, no, I just mean like with a character, character of Summer, it just doesn't make sense really.
Yeah, no, that, and then all of it that happened, like we just kept jumping around and it was like, now they're suddenly a cult and now they're growing potatoes.
Oh yeah, like, that felt very random, yeah.
And that was like a more clever gag, but like you had like, that's more like you have to have like a background and like you have to like dig for that gag, and like it's like, and like it's too short for it to even be funny. So
yeah, I almost like didn't get it. I mean, there's not much to get, but I didn't really react to it the first time I watched it, and only the second time I was like, oh, this actually is. They like that felt random the first time. Oh, that's the point, I guess. Yeah, but I don't know. Do you think this is the weakest episode of the season?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I liked it, and like, but yeah, no, it's definitely the weakest. Like, I was kind of getting a little bored watching it. I mean, I've only watched it once.
Yeah, it kind of held up on a second viewing. I think it's like this show is never going to have such a bad episode.
I mean, the music part was like funny, and like the heads was just I just thought the heads were funny.
I feel like we didn't do enough with the heads.
No, like obviously they don't say much, but it would have been funnier if they like talked more or like did something.
They just need to go. I need this episode to take that next step, like that next layer into the scary Terry. Like I feel like that's what it's missing. Almost.
Like we had a concept, we just didn't like do anything with it.
It's like I feel like this is a good episode of this is like a very good episode of Family Guy or something, right? Like, yeah, it's like those shows never go beyond like the first level like this one, like the unlike this show. But for Rick and Morty, this is one of the bad episodes because the show is so good.
And this is just like, eh.
Yeah, and it's yeah. I think this is probably the worst episode of the season.
Bird Person though.
Bird Person was there. Okay, we'll get to Bird Person. We'll go through the specifics now. But I think it's probably this one. There's an argument for episode 3, but this didn't hit the highs like episode 3 did at the end.
In episode 3, episode 3 was I was at least satisfied with episode 3.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, maybe you're even lower on this than I am. I'm not super unsatisfied with this.
I mean, I'm not like. I don't know. Like, this episode was fine. I mean, it's Rick and Morty. I'll watch it. It's good. It just wasn't like. I mean, the stinger for me was like what I really liked. I thought it was funny, and then like the rest, like I like the iced tea thing, even though it was silly. I liked it, and then the president. That's about it.
Yeah, let's go through the episode. Okay, so Armageddon. We have the news broadcast saying this is triggering climate change and natural disasters we thought were impossible for at least another 8 years.
That was funny.
Yeah, let's not make this political, Terry. Speaking of Terry, yeah.
That's good.
That was the best in the beginning, I think. And then the head says, "Show me what you got." I feel like that's the concept of I feel like that was their starting point. Just this giant head saying, "Show me what you got." Yeah.
Yeah,
interesting. I noted last week how Keith David was in episode 4 for a very short time, but now we actually see his. It seemed like he recorded that. They brought him in for this episode, and then they must have recorded him as the giraffe last week because he was the president in this one. Kind of a spoof of. I think this is Keith David's president is more of a spoof of like the president in 24. I never watched that show, but I'm pretty sure they had a black president. Yeah. So I don't think this is like parodying.
Even his design, it's the president from 24.
Yeah, like I don't think this is supposed to be Obama. I think it's supposed to be like 24. Yeah. He's they walk into the war room and they're busy trying to show it what humanity's got, including string theory and stuff. I do like the head just being really ambiguous as it's. How are they supposed to know that it's? Is there just a Rick? How did the other planets know? Is there just a Rick on every planet?
I mean, there could be.
Yeah, is that what we're saying?
I mean, they only had like 5 planets.
Yeah, there are only like 5 of them.
So like clearly they probably go to a lot of planets and they just blow them up if they're wrong. If they don't, they're like, oh, you're too dumb. You took too long. Blow up.
Yeah, these are like the best of the best, I guess. But it could have just been the only 5 that ever did music. Yeah.
Yeah, and they probably had, like, there probably was a Rick on them.
There probably was. I mean, there could have literally been a Rick on them because there's a ton of Ricks. Yeah. Yeah,
but maybe he just but Rick would have wanted to be. He would have wanted to perform. So
yeah, it's not Rick himself. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We have the fake military. We have the parody of the military general who wants to display their 70,000 megatons of kaboom boom.
Kaboom, that was good.
Kaboom boom, yeah. I don't know. That character was meh. They didn't really do anything special with him.
Well, I mean, what they're parodying, like you can't do anything with him, like.
Yeah, but it's like okay, it's another just very service level parody, you know.
Yeah.
Rick has a watch that turns people into snakes, which we later get the payoff that it's just an illusion, right? With his what is it at the end?
It's his particle
beam in the wristwatch, and then a snake holster on his leg. Yeah,
that
was a good payoff. That was one of the better things this episode. Yeah,
I enjoyed that.
The heads are Cromulon from the Cygnus 5 Expanse. I wonder if they try to make these their fake mythology. I mean, all mythology in shows is fake, but I wonder if they try to make it consistent because this seems very. I feel like we've heard Cromulon before, but I don't know.
It's just one of those things that, like, this isn't absurd at all for Rick and Morty. Like, of course, there's a giant head, and this is what they do. And I mean, and of course, it's still again very Doctor Who-y, where it's like, where are these people from? Let's just give them a fancy place they're from and like weird name, and then yep, they're an alien. I accept it.
One thing I just thought of, I think this is interesting that this is kind of the third really high level being that we've met this season. That I feel like is more advanced than anything we saw last season.
Like that could be something maybe they're like getting to this season. Is that?
I feel it could be that we're just trending towards just higher level aliens. I mean, this is like these are giant heads that can teleport entire planets, but even these seem like less advanced than like the fart and the like fourth dimensional time travelers from the first episode. So it's, I don't know. Do you get that impression? Do you think these are like at least these are like beings with mass? What did the fart call them? Like two carbon-based life forms, right? These seem
carbon-based.
Like, these seem like some form of carbon-based life forms. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know if we know that. I mean, they were also like different colors. Like I thought they were made out of like rocks or something. I don't know.
They could be. I don't know. Maybe they're gas too, like the fart.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? Okay. Yeah. So we have suddenly they do the song. They need to feed on the talent and showmanship of lesser life forms. So they talk about the dream, which I hadn't heard of either. So the president mad at me too.
Yep. That was funny.
The speaker system in the sonic testing facility in Area 1. For God's sake, Nathan, the guy turns people into snakes. He can use Google Maps.
That was really good.
That was a good line.
That might be the best line in the episode.
Expertly delivered by Keith David. Yes.
Yes.
There was an earthquake at the Grammys, and only Ice-T survived. I missed that the first time. I was like, "Why is everyone dead?" Oh, because the Grammys.
Yeah, no, that was really
makes sense. Yeah,
that was really funny.
I like how Ice-T's not at the Grammys. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, no, it was so good.
But Rick dabbles in in music. Yeah.
I hate him.
We have the B plot. We'll do the B plot in a few chunks. They're at the church, and the priest says, you need to double... I forget what you double down on. You always hit on a soft 16. So thank you, priest, for giving blackjack advice. The Jew says...
When he's like, when God gives you an 11.
Yeah, you double down, yeah. Then you always hit on a soft 16. The Jew says, tough church, yeah. Why are they there? And then there's Principal Vagina. I didn't remember that the principal is called Principal Vagina. That's interesting.
I didn't either. Well, he was like maybe in like the first 2 episodes in like season 1.
There was one episode at the school or something, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Principal Vagina says he's pledging his eternal soul to the thing that literally controls the fucking weather.
I like that. That was also a really good line. Like that was just.
Yeah. Okay. But then we get the Get Schwifty performance after they parachute down with Jamie with an EY. Yeah. What did you think of the Get Schwifty performance?
It was quality. It was really good. I mean, they showed part of it in like the preview last week, and I was like, I'm gonna hate this song. I'm gonna get really annoyed, but no, it was so good.
Did you
so good.
Did you much like the head like what they got?
Yes. It was even better that they liked it. I was like, this is so dumb.
I like what you got. Good job. Yeah. Highlights of the song for me were him shitting on the floor, and not him literally shitting, and he's Mr. Bulldog.
Yeah.
That seems about right, yeah. But then we have the planet music thing. One planet gets disqualified. There's one every season that complains about things.
I like that.
Our Bolesis Mentorosians, show me what you got. I feel like that was I like that incredibly long alien name.
Yep. Always good. Always good sign.
Then we have so let's talk about the conflict of the episode. I guess the Rick lies to Morty with the charge gun, and Morty takes off. The AV Club called this like a contrived, not a contrived plot, but a tired plot because they say that Rick's always being like the dysfunctional alien guy and not alien guy, but all powerful being, and Morty's the one who's the moral one, but it turns out Morty's wrong and Rick's always right, and this is just another example of that. Did you think this plot was like not exciting, this conflict?
No, it wasn't really exciting because it was like Morty, like, well, it was also an interesting was it really moral, because Morty was like, hey, we actually need to work on the song. But, like, Morty also was like, I'm going to abandon the Earth to save the fam.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's better than saving no one, but...
Well, yeah, but, like, I don't know, like, that was interesting for it to be, like, a moral thing, because, like, really it's moral, I guess, one way or the other, but depending on how you look at ethics... Yeah, maybe this
is more selfish than Morty usually is, yeah.
Yeah. This might be the most selfish it's been.
Yeah, Ice-T is about to leave because they're out of original flavor Fig Newtons, but then Rick portals to get them.
Yes.
We talked about the Ice-T thing. You can turn into ice. My story begins at the dawn of time. Who was voicing Ice-T there? I don't know.
I don't know.
Probably Justin Roiland. I'm not sure though. I'll just be ice floating through space, and he's exiled because he didn't care about anything. I don't understand how they come up with these concepts, but this one is interesting.
I don't. Who knows?
Are you happy about the return of Bird Person?
Yes, but I did think it was interesting when Rick was like, "Oh, like you can't carry on like this. You won't be happy or whatever." When he left.
Yeah.
Which in my head, I get so confused. Like I don't know when things happen.
That was the end of the season, last season, right?
No, when Ice-T leaves.
Oh, when Ice-T leaves. Okay, that was Bird Person. Yeah,
he's like.
Yeah, that happened now, and then.
Yeah, and he's like, well, he said like, and Rick's like, trust me, like you can't do that for forever. And we were talking about maybe Rick's immortal. That made me, I don't know, they gave me a hint.
No, I don't know. It was just being like high concept, but they were being, I guess.
No, I don't know. The dialogue was interesting.
It was very.
And then we get discussed with Bird Person, so.
Bird Person, yeah. In bird culture, this is considered a dick move.
Bird Person just continues to be great. Whenever they appear, it's so great.
And then the return of Tammy, who is with Bird Person. You know what this
that was great.
You know what this human eats. Don't be gross, Tammy. And then Birdcock or Bird Dick. I'm not sure which one it was.
I think it was Dick.
I feel like it was more likely to be cock because they say Dick earlier in the scene. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Who knows?
Are you shipping Bird Person and Tammy?
I mean, I guess.
I don't think so.
It was really
I don't
funny.
think anyone is.
Really, no, but it was really funny, like, originally, like, Bird Person and Tammy.
I guess it's good they're still together.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's great that you can, I don't know. Bird Person didn't strike me as, like, I don't know. It was great. Doesn't matter.
Back to the B-plot, other than the picture of Rick and a baby.
Oh, and then Morty was eating debris from Bird Person's carpet.
Oh, really?
You don't know what people eat, and that's what started all that.
Yeah. We have all the stuff with the rest of the B plot now that we can talk about. Summer being whoever, and then they reject that because that's not who Summer is.
Yep.
Then it's just the entire thing with the reaction to the heads at the end, and maybe we were correlating things that weren't related at all, right? So that was the big summary of that.
I did like that Beth, like, throughout, I'm like, Beth is so Rick's daughter. It's great.
Why is Beth Rick's daughter? Other than the literal sense.
No. Well, I just meant, like, the entire time. She's like, no, guys. No, really.
It makes sense because she's, like, the smarter one, and also because she's, seen things from Rick, I guess, yeah.
Jerry didn't talk, like, at all in this episode.
A little bit at the end, but yeah. Or you had Jerry withdrawal. Didn't we have enough Jerry already?
No, we've had enough Jerry. That's why I was like, yes, less Jerry.
What about?
And Beth literally the entire time was like, shut up, Jerry.
I think you're just missing Sleepy Gary.
Maybe.
They're not over him yet.
Nope, they're not.
They need time.
They will never be
through. We get the Morty and the President saga. Morty asks if he can fly it. Can the Pope's dick fit through a donut? I'm not sure exactly. So that's good.
Exactly. That was
Morty learns the lesson. Sometimes you have to not give a fuck. Interesting.
I feel like that was a good lesson. It's an important lesson.
I don't know if it's an important lesson.
Everyone needs to know that lesson.
Ice-T comes back, saves the day after they disqualified from the nukes. That's right. It is me, Ice-T. I care now. You made me care more.
That was good.
Great dialogue. A+. And then we get the second performance of head bent over, raise that posterior.
I liked it. I think I like it better than Get Schwifty.
You like it better than Get Schwifty? What? How?
I think I don't know. It's just the beat. I don't know. There's something about it. It's just better.
Man. It was
the
like
dance with,
no.
well, no. Okay, I'll get Schwifty had the better dance.
It was inferior in all aspects. That is my argument.
I don't know.
This is no Get Schwifty.
It's no Get Schwifty.
Get Schwifty was a jam, as the president
I really
says.
enjoyed the jam. I did enjoy that they continued to say Get Schwifty, and then everyone was like, "No, you just made that up."
No, it's a thing. Don't worry.
Great.
Earth is the final winner. We get the particle beam wristwatch thing we talked about earlier, and yeah,
980 seasons.
What?
It's like the 980th season.
How many planets have they disintegrated?
It's really funny because this year was American Idol's last season. I don't know if everyone knew that. I didn't until like 2 days ago, so that made this funnier.
The voice is still there though for our singing competition needs. And then we get the stinger. Ice-T comes in and says magnesium J, hydrogen F, father. What was his father? A Q?
Yeah, it was a Q.
Yeah.
So good.
His exile ends today. Welcome home, water T.
So good.
Does this make? I don't understand.
If I could just have like this. Like if this could have been the episode, like if we could, like I want a whole episode.
You want a whole episode of Water Tea and the Rise of the Numericons?
Yes, please.
Then I better crunch the numbers. It was like it didn't make any sense though. This couldn't. This could not sustain an episode.
No, it could. It could have. Definitely. I would have been all for it. I would have loved it. Yes.
Definitely cannot sustain an episode, but
great.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just the weird. That might be the weirdest stinger. I'm glad.
No, it's the best stinger.
I mean, it can be weirdest and best.
Oh no, was it Blips and Chips? That was actually the best. That was the best stinger.
That was the ad though for Blips and Chips. I'll take this one over that one.
I really like the stinger. Might be my favorite part of the episode.
Yeah, it is part of the episode. That's fine.
It's my favorite part.
Yeah,
so good.
No, I think it was good. Okay, overall, then we can discuss next week. Overall, good, not good, but the worst one. Yeah. Any new thoughts? We kind of discussed it a lot in the beginning.
No, I mean, I liked it. I mean, obviously, like it's Rick and Morty. It's good. Just not. We've definitely seen better. This was a bit of a disappointment. I mean, of course, I think we were like. I mean, how could we not be disappointed after episode 4? I mean, it was bound to happen.
Yeah,
but
expecting better from next week, in which Justin Roiland, in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, calls next week his favorite episode of the season. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, next week
I didn't see a preview.
Okay, I'll tell you what the preview was. It was because I actually saw it this time. It was the whole. It was they're trying to fix this Rick spaceship, and he has to go inside of his engine or something, and it turns out there's a microverse inside his engine.
I'm excited already.
And the leader of the microverse is voiced by Stephen Colbert. So that's to look forward to.
Oh my god.
This is going to be good.
This is going to be like the best episode.
This also reminded me a lot of this concept of Doctor Who. It's like the TARDIS breaking, the TARDIS being its own like life form and stuff like that. Yeah. Very reminiscent.
I was thinking when they go into the Dalek.
Also when they go into the Dalek, yeah, that makes sense too.
Which is naturally my favorite episode because Daleks.
Because Daleks. Doctor Who coming. We'll have a few weeks of overlap when both Doctor Who and Rick and Morty are on, I think. So
and it'll be like the parallels will just be intense.
It'll just be very present. Yeah, that'll be good. All right. I'm Dylan Hysen. That's Delaney Stovall. You can find everything about this podcast at overlyanimated.com. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thanks to our current patrons, Andy, Beatrice, Mitch, Nate, Cordell, Shayna, Buzz Lightyear, Beatrix Strange, Fever Mitch, Nathan Fillion, Cordell University, Heyna. Tonight is Gravity Falls. Yay. We're going to be discussing the latest episode of Gravity Falls, and then the rest of this week is the last 2 parts of me and Delaney's watch through of Over the Garden Wall, which we have already recorded, and the last Friday's
I was
podcast.
literally about to be like, wait, didn't we already?
Yes, no, they're coming out then. Friday's podcast is going to be very long, and it's not very long, but it's one of our longer ones, discussing all of Over the Garden Wall and the ending. A lot to discuss there. So we'll be back with next week's Rick and Morty next Monday, probably. Hopefully. Thank you. Thanks for listening, guys. Any last thoughts, Delaney?
I liked the episode, but yeah.
Yeah.
And I apologize for being
For being
Not usually it's just
I mean,
weird.
it's fine. You need to discuss episodes. I've seen. I think people's opinions are the same as ours on this one in general, from what I've seen so far. But yeah, looking forward to next week in Stephen Colbert. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.